evening, President Obama talking about gun control and how that is in part to blame and how we need to focus on that. Reverend Jesse Jackson also spoke about guns and blaming that. Listen to this.
If you look at the number of the balance of it, the far more cops are killing people, but people should not be killing people. We need not get an argument about who kills the most. We should stop the killing. Easy access to high-powered weapons is a danger to American security. And it does not make sense to be fighting wars against weapons of mass destruction while you can buy online weapons that can bring down airplanes. It's totally irrational to me in the name of Second Amendment.
So we can have that gun debate. I think we have been having it, but would more gun control have stopped what happened 2 nights ago?
Well, only idiots on the left, the anti-gun zealots, believe that. Look, Jesse Jackson can hardly put together a coherent thought. I heard him in an interview yesterday on a program that was on. It was Fox News, and I couldn't even make heads or tails out of what he was saying. He just throws some buzzwords together and just throws things out there, weapons of mass destruction. Last night he was talking about high-powered weapons on the street that can take down an airliner. He's talking about a surface-to-air missile. There are none of those on the streets in the United States. So Jesse Jackson, he's a relic of the past. His time has come and gone. He reminds me of an aging pitcher in baseball whose fastball no longer has any zip, and every time he throws something, someone knocks it out of the park.
That is the single greatest description of a Jesse Jackson rant I think I've ever heard. That was worth the price of admission, Sheriff.
I think you just came up with that on the spot, too.
Unbelievable. I want to get your response to this, Sheriff. Hillary Clinton, in a press conference yesterday, had this to say about how white people need to listen. Take a listen.
White Americans need to do a better job of listening. When African Americans talk about the seen and unseen barriers you face every day.
White people need to listen. That's the root of the problem, Sheriff.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. But look, self-flagellation is what she's engaged in there. And that's what white liberals do when they feel guilty and insecure. And that's what she's feeling right now. She's not good on the stump. She's not good at this. She's not. She doesn't have any finesse. Everything she says, comes out in an awkward fashion. I think that bodes well for the Donald Trump campaign. You just let her stay in her own way, trip over herself, and you kind of get out of her way and let her do that. And then I think he'll be fine. But no, that's not the problem in America. The problem in America is the divisiveness that has been caused by President Barack Obama and some of these other liberals on the left who specialize in division. This fictitious war on women. They pit the races against each other. Remember the rich and the poor, the one percenters. That's what they specialize in. They want to keep people at each other's throats so that they can maintain this chaotic state that we're in right now, and then threatens our institutions like it is the institution of policing in America, our courts, and some of those things. And then once those institutions are destroyed, then they can insert their socialist agenda. That's a true goal here. And like I said, all people have to do is go back and look at these same situations back in the 60s, and you're going to find it. Another thing Jesse Jackson said yesterday, he talked about the civil rights struggle that continues today. I'm here to tell you, and I'm living proof, there's no civil rights struggle in the United States anymore. We took care of that. There are some instances that pop up from time to time, and I'll tell you what, we have things in place that will shut that sort of stuff down. What he's talking about is when blacks were denied the right to vote. Blacks are not denied the right to vote. When blacks couldn't sit at a counter in a white restaurant, you had your coloreds only and whites only. That was the civil rights struggle that no longer exists in the United States. That needs to end. That stuff, that's the kind of stuff that keeps this division going. And once white people acknowledge that and start pushing back against that, that's when I think we'll all be better off. But right now, everybody's walking around on eggshells. They're afraid to say anything about this hate group, Black Lives Matter. They're afraid to say anything about support for police in a public manner, or a public way, I should say. And until that starts to happen, I'm talking about pushback.
Right.
Then, we'll be a lot better off as a country.
Sheriff David Clarke, that was a bracing 8 minutes with you. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning.